Hey everyone, it's Mark. We're back for the next part of the Tascam 388 project. Yes, this is still going on. So in the last video, I had mentioned that my dad was going to come help me out, and that hasn't worked. For those of you who don't know me personally, and my dad's been fighting cancer for about 10 years. So, you know, kind of in and out of the hospital, and that's what happened this week. The day we were planning on meeting up, he ended up back in the hospital. Seems to be doing okay as of now, but he's still there, not here. So I've been catching up on all the things I should have learned in college and didn't. Namely, op amps. Obviously we learned it in college, but I haven't used it in 20 years now. So I had to reteach myself how op amps work. And I actually think I have decided that the logic board seems to be putting out all the voltages and signals that I expect. I started circling everything that I tested that was good. And basically all I'm left with are the big programmable ICs that I have no way to test or replace or flash or anything. So then I moved on to the servo board that controls the reels. I haven't done a lot of testing on that in the machine because you can't get to it when it's plugged in. It's hiding back here, right next to the power supply board, that of course has a bunch of giant capacitors and things that could just shock the hell out of you and ruin your day. So I made some leads last night to extend this board down onto the bench where I could actually probe it while it's running. And I'm finding some interesting stuff. I think I'm going to end up finding the problem on this board, although I don't yet know what it is. But I'm going to get back to testing a few things and see if I can nail it down. I was out here last night till almost 11 o'clock. Had to stop because the family wants to go to bed. So I'm going to get back on it. I've got a soft deadline for Friday, which is 2 days from now. I'm trying to get there. So we'll bring it back when I figure something out. Okay, I might have made a breakthrough. I'm going to feel real stupid if this is what it is, but I'll be happy to have it done. Okay, so coming around to the back, these are the tensioners. Sorry, I'm trying to do this handheld. I apologize if you get motion sick. Moving these is what tells the machine if the tape is too tight and needs to be let up, or too loose and needs to be tightened up. So over here, now when I have this hooked to the test point and move the right tensioner, moving it up and down, up and down. And right now I have that set on about 2 volts per division. So we're going from about a volt all the way at the bottom and 12 volts all the way at the top. So now we put it on the test point for the right tensioner, which is the reel that I can never get to turn. And right now, notice it's just kind of pegged at about 13 volts. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Nothing. So I'm pretty sure there's something weird going on there. So, time to flip the machine back down and take the top cover off and see what's going on with the tension sensor. I can feel it. We're getting there. All right, I apologize about the heater. It is cold out here. Deal with it. I thought I'd show how you take this top apart because it is kind of tricky, and I had a little trouble the first time I did it. Now there's some different ways to do it. Now that I've had this in and out about 5 times, I figured out what I think is the easiest. Take out these 4 Allen screws that hold the control panel on. Promptly lose those. At least that's what I've been doing so far. Take out the about 5, I think, Allen screws here. Don't mess with the Phillips screws. Some of those mess with the alignment of the heads. And if you screw with that, you'll be in a world of hurt. Then you have to remove these. The black part unscrews and the aluminum part slides off. And the same goes for the pinch roller. Black plastic unscrews, the rubber wheel slides right off. Now this can come off. And you've got 4 screws in the corner here. Now this is normally where other people will tell you to take out these screws and these screws and start taking off these plastic things. I figured out a way around it. Just kind of get this as out of the way as you can. And then what I do is I actually pull up on this and it bends a little bit. Just enough to set it free. That's all there is to it. So now let's have a look at this tension sensor. I have not looked at this yet at all, so I don't know anything about it. But this is the device. I know basically how it works. It has to do with, I believe it has an LED and a pickup, and it shines to the pickup, and then somehow when it moves, the light gets brighter and dimmer. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I'm going to take it out and find out. Let's see if I can get you a better angle here. And just when I get the heater to turn off, some idiot outside is running either a lawnmower or a snowblower. And it's 45 degrees and sunny out, so the grass isn't growing and it isn't snowing. I don't know what they're running, but I apologize if you can hear that coming through. Maybe I'll just get this out of the way. In this roller here, this is what sends a pulse to the brains to tell it if the tape is running, which direction it is running, and how fast it is running. In all my probing with the oscilloscope, I was finding there was a couple of flip-flops on the board that would, it was interesting. You could turn it one way and see the state on the scope change, turn it the other way and see it change. So it was telling the computer, you know, forward or backwards. But then also you could watch the scope as you were spinning it, and you could see a square wave appear on the screen at the frequency, or it somehow related to the frequency, to the speed. So that was all kind of cool. And then it was going into a mystery computer, and that was where my understanding stopped. I'm going to have to get better acquainted with that type of stuff, though, because I'm soon going to be restoring that Space Invaders arcade cabinet. Oh. Look. That might be the final problem. How in the hell would that have broken? I haven't been in there. I guess vibration might do that. Alright, I gotta figure out how to get to that. Okay, so I'm in here now. Here's where the connector looks like came loose. So I got a little X-Acto knife here. I'm gonna try to get off this coating. There we go. Red is still hooked to terminal 4. And 5 is supposed to be that guy right there. Solder joint on the back is easily accessible, so strip that back and solder it. These are tiny little wires. They remind me of the ones that go to like a cartridge on a turntable. Okay, I think both are attached. I'm going to hot glue them in place. It's not the prettiest, but it works. So back to test point 2. Okay. We didn't break anything, that's a good start. Let's see if this is fixed now. Yes. All right. I'm gonna put it back together. Fingers crossed. So I just want to recap here. I'm not about to take a victory lap yet. But if you remember early on, I determined that the tensioning sensor things were working because when you could put it up, you could play it, but I could push it down and it would stop the tape. So I said, okay, well that's working. But what it's doing, it has 2 different functions. It has one LED thing that senses how far the light gets brighter and dimmer, and it picks it up, and that translates into higher and lower voltages. But then there's also a sensor on the end that just tells when it's all the way down. So that was working, but it was the variable part that was not. So that's what fooled me, because right off the bat, I thought, you know, this could be a problem. But after I looked into it, I determined that no, it probably wasn't because of the fact that it would shut off. But now I know. It's actually 2 different things going on here, I guess, is the short way of saying it. There's 2 switches there. One was working, one was not. And I did not realize that it was 2 different things happening. Oh, that's my problem. Starting to feel the pressure. I'm 2 screws away from trying this out. About to find out if I'm done or about to start another 3 weeks of figuring out problems. My tape is not in the best condition right now. Okay, here goes. Alright, I swear I haven't tested anything yet. I just moved the camera and waited for the heater to shut off. Okay, big fingers crossed. Holy shit! It's playing. Oh my god. Okay. Fast forward. Oh, you asshole. can even see the VU meters moving. But now what's the problem with rewind? Guys, we're so close. It wants to. Oh. I think that's a tape tension problem. I can fix that. I could sit here and watch this thing play all day. It is the left tensioner that seems to need adjustment. It's R112. See if I can fast forward a little bit here. Ah, there we go, yeah. Apparently both of them need a little adjustment. Okay, so which one handles that? That would be R212. Wow, those pots are dirty. I just barely move them. Now let's try to adjust 112, which would be the rewind. Ladies and gentlemen, none of the above and all of the above. This is almost fixed. According to the manual, it tells you to play it and adjust so that the center of those line up with the bottom of those wheels, and it's kind of hard to see. But basically you want the center of this to be about at the bottom of that, and the center of this to be about at the bottom of that. And it is playing fine. Fast forward is wicked fast now. Yep, and rewind gets there too, it takes a second. Okay, now according to the manual, I want to hook up to test point 1, and this is actually just the speed for fast forward and rewind, not for actual play. So hopefully I didn't mess with this play speed. I certainly didn't try to. So hook it to test point 1. I fast forward or rewind. At this point I'll fast forward because I have more tape on the left side. And I want to adjust this potentiometer until I have 2.5 millisecond wavelength here. So right now we're on 2 milliseconds, so I can make that. Okay, so I'm at half a millisecond, so each wavelength I should need to be half, 1, 2.5, 2, 2.5. Basically half of that screen. Alright, we're really close already. I need to adjust R150. That looks like dead on to me. Doesn't seem near as fast as it was. I guess maybe it was too fast before. Oh, well, now it's way different rewinding. So that would be right for rewinding. Now it's too slow for fast forward. I'm going to split the difference. Okay, well, it's the right speed in fast forward. In rewind, it's a little bit too fast, but I don't think that's a problem. Wow, I might be ready to put this thing back together. Okay, there you go. First time you've actually seen this thing together. Got the sides on, got the door on. The top isn't screwed down yet, but it's sitting there anyway. I'll take you for a little tour around it, and we'll watch it work one last time. So there you have it. This concludes the Tascam 388 Studio 8 video series. I hope. I learned a lot about how this thing works. I was far from getting all the way into it, like especially with the mixer portion. I barely touched any of that, but I feel like I've got a pretty good grasp on how the tape transport system works on this. So, you know, if anybody is out there working on them and comes across this video series, you know, feel free to shoot me a message, ask me any questions. No guarantees I'll be able to help, but I've at least got a good base of knowledge now for this. I'm going to be delivering it back tomorrow. I hope it works well for him. Thanks for watching.